Hi everyone, my name is Caitlin and this is my GUI analysis of MilkRun and PrettyGreen. So a bit about PrettyGreen. It's an online supermarket that offers ethically sourced Australian produce and it delivers straight to the door with free sustainable delivery. A little bit about MilkRun. It's an Australian grocery delivery service. Your delivery will be within 10 minutes. They provide fresh produce direct from Aussie farmers. So, a bit about user journeys. User journey one was to set a new location on the app and specify special delivery instructions if possible. So, you enter the app onto the menu page. You can select to change the address. It takes a few moments for feedback. The app's search tool delivered a message to say that you couldn't enter an apartment number. I was a bit confused at the instructions. It then went on to list selection where I auto generated a list, selected my apartment, and then there was an error. I got redirected back and the address was wrong. I was quite frustrated and wanted to quit. Ended up editing the address and had to repeat the process. It was a little bit disappointing and a little bit tedious. User journey 2 was to locate ingredients for a two-person pasta recipe and then to add all the ingredients to the cart. So you enter the app. I thought that off the bat it was pretty quick and easy. Adding the address was really easy, and then ingredient categories were quite clear. I could discover a lot of ingredients. They had a lot of correlating ingredients close together, like pasta and pasta sauce were next to each other. So I could add them all to the cart. And then I tried to use the search tool to search for an additional item, but instead I got a completely different search result. It was quite frustrating. Not being able to find the items I wanted easily made me want to abandon the cart. It continued through to checkout. It was all very clear. I loved the price transparency. There were no hidden last second delivery fees or services. And then I could check out. The blue buttons helped guide to the checkout, and it was quite straightforward and easy. So let's meet the users. So, first I interviewed Carolyn Max. She's 59, a female. She lives in Oatley and she's a data analyst. She's a mum of three. She lives and works from home and she enjoys having a relaxed lifestyle, isn't very confident with technology. Some of her goals was she wanted food delivered quickly and healthy meals. She was motivated to do just one large shop a week, and she doesn't like change or learning any new technologies, especially phone apps and things like that. She didn't like. She wasn't very confident with any type of internet or mobile app. Next, we have Hamish. He lives in Paddington. He's a male, 24. He's a full time national account manager. He lives a very busy lifestyle in the inner city. He's extremely confident with tech and he uses it every day for work. So, some of his goals was healthy meals. He wanted to spend less time worrying about cooking. So, he doesn't like slow technology and apps that have bad layout and user experience. He did highlight that he wanted something that was quick and easy to use. So now on to user testing. The first was to set up a new location on the app. If available, specify special delivery instructions. The second was to locate ingredients for a two-person pasta recipe and to add all those ingredients to the cart and proceed to checkout. So the first observations for Carolyn on PrettyGreen, she was to set a new location. She did find that the menu bar was pretty simple, easy to navigate. The search tool was quite clear. It auto-generated the new address. She was satisfied that she didn't have to type it all out. And she got some successful feedback that her address had updated on the homepage. Some of the frustrations were the visual overload. Carolyn asked, "What do all these pictures mean?" referring to the category cover images. There was a lot of visual things she hadn't seen before. She tried to find help navigating the app with the helpful guidance instructions, but there was nothing available for new users. And then after adding the address, she was frustrated because she couldn't add any additional delivery details. The next observation was for Hamish on PrettyGreen, which was to locate ingredients for a two-person pasta recipe. He found the recipe selection system and was able to pick a pasta recipe and add all the ingredients in one click. Clear visibility of system status throughout all the steps, which he was happy with. And then he said that all the images were quite aesthetical and he understood exactly what he was purchasing. Some of the frustrations were the visual overload. The search function was difficult to use, and he was able to add items to the cart that were unavailable. So the next observation was for MilkRun to locate ingredients for the pasta recipe. So Carolyn was satisfied with the appealing and clear imagery. Out of stock items were visibly marked, so she couldn't purchase them or place them in the basket. And the search function brought back the correct results, so she quickly could find what she needed. Some frustrations were busy category pages, which did make navigation difficult. Lack of product information for some items, like the tomatoes had no specifications for how much she would be getting, and she couldn't add delivery instructions until the end. The next observation is for Hamish on MilkRun to set the new location. He was finding it easy to understand the layout and navigate the profile page. The address auto-generated, making it quite streamlined, and there was error prevention by needing to confirm the address. Frustrations were the button to change address is a color that was hard to distinguish. There was bad text hierarchy, which meant information got lost, and a lack of feedback for actions. It took a moment for things to load, and there wasn't any feedback on the screen. So now for some user needs. So the user needs for Carolyn, she felt that the recipe meal options on PrettyGreen made everything quite quick and easy. It helped her select meals for the whole week, so she could just do that one large shop that she wanted to do for the entire family. She did feel, though, that it was a visual overload because she's not a regular tech user. She felt quite overwhelmed. And by simplifying the category images and search functions, she would find it easier. MilkRun, on the other hand, she did have good success navigating. It was quite an aesthetically pleasing app. She liked the product images. However, it didn't have any recipe options, so she couldn't. She didn't feel like she could do a whole week's worth of shopping without any filtering or recipe choices. For Hamish, PrettyGreen was well suited for the healthy lifestyle. Um, the apps were aesthetical and had clear product photos, so he knew what he was purchasing. But it didn't have some features that he expressed wanting, like a super fast and easy app to use. He was able to add items to the cart that weren't available, which he found frustrating. For MilkRun, it suited his fast paced lifestyle and was quick and easy to navigate. It didn't, however, offer enough filtering or recipe options, so he didn't feel he could do a big shop on the app. So, heuristic and conceptual analysis of the interface. So, first looking at error prevention for PrettyGreen. A common error occurred where you could place items in the cart that weren't available. It was quite frustrating for both users that I looked at. It made a lot of users steer away from the in-app feature to select an entire recipe because half the recipe ingredients wouldn't be available. By having an error prevention there to show that items are out of stock and not allow users to place the items into their cart, it would just improve the user experience. Now onto MilkRun error prevention. MilkRun actually has a lot of error preventions in place, including preventions of entering incorrect addresses. So you have to confirm an address. It also has out of stock markers on all of their out of stock items. You can't add anything to the cart that isn't available. PrettyGreen recognition rather than recall. PrettyGreen, although it is very visually appealing, it introduces a lot of brand new and unique graphic symbols that, in my observations, impacted the user's ability to navigate the app. Older users such as Carolyn, they didn't have as much of an understanding and struggled to find ingredients because they were spending so much time trying to sort through what each symbol meant. It meant that a lot of users wanted to abandon the cart by introducing a lot more clear symbols that are a lot more commonly known. It would have made the shopping experience a little bit easier. For MilkRun, recognition rather than recall, MilkRun's a really visual app, and all the categories on the app are visual elements like pictures, as you can see. It helps people recognize rather than recall. So they see a banana and know that's a visual cue for fruit. It just made it a lot more of a seamless user experience. Now, having a look at mental models. So, when did the user have a good mental model of the system or not? So, for Pretty Green, the app leaves users with a mismatched mental model. A lot of the icons are new to users. For example, the shopping cart icon, category icons. Although they're aesthetically pleasing, they don't come to the user's minds quickly. They're very different to any other apps, and it's not what users would normally expect. So that does leave them with a very mismatched mental model. For MilkRun, overall, the user will have a good mental model of MilkRun as it uses recognizable symbols and icons to represent key elements. It's a very recognizable layout, easy to navigate, and users can navigate the app without any confusion. Some design issues. So for Pretty Green, it does leave users performance suffering. So the amount of information that a user is receiving, um, it can make their ability to comprehend. The visual overload is a lot. So there's a lot of overly saturated, similar images close together. Then it takes users longer to understand the information. MilkRun has a lack of in app feedback. So the system reacts and produces delayed output. Feedback can change a confusing experience to a pleasant experience, and it can show users how the program is working and when they're doing the correct action. So, this design issue was causing a lot of frustration because users were unsure if they'd completed the correct actions. Thank you.